testing, and the API testing is very demand in the market. If you are in the testing industry, then every company they need the API tester or the performance tester. Okay, because the digital marketing is growing up very fastly, right? Everyone now start using the internet, and everyone having these smartphones, right? So number of users using the application is more nowadays, any application. So that's why the performance testing is very demand in the market. In the earlier days, at that time the Wi-Fi, the internet was too much costly, and everyone don't have these smartphones, right? So at that time there was not any much more load on the server. But nowadays the Wi-Fi, the internet is cheap as compared to the previous year, right? So that's why the things are cheap, the related to the the Wi-Fi and the network, and the all the person having the mobile phone nowadays, the smartphone, right? So that's why in if you use any application, right, the number of user is starting, the number of user is more on any server. So that's why in the market the performance testing is more, right? So please do the practice. Only to attend the class is not sufficient, because in the performance testing everything is the practice. Everything is the practice. We know the component, we have to play with the component. After then you can be a very good performance tester. Okay, because I have promised you, after taking this class you have 3 years of the experience in the performance testing. But that promise will complete it when you do the practice, when you do the practice along with me, right? When you come with the queries, right? So they are sufficient time. Monday to Friday you have time. If you take some 1 hour time, you can do the practice, then it's sufficient at least. Okay, I know that everyone is doing job, right? But at least you have to save some time to do the practice. Okay. Okay, so in this class, I think I have shared the recording session, and started the recording and shared the screen. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so last time we have discussed about the timer. The timer. Okay, so in the timer we discuss about what is the reason we are adding the timer, right? Because we are not hitting the scenario, any scenario. Let's suppose I'm trying to, give me a second, let me close, not all tab, let me close particular tab. Okay, let me open the Chrome. Okay, so let's suppose you are going to book the flight. Okay, are you completed all the scenario in 1 second? No, not in one shot you completed. You are hitting the URL, then you are selecting the Mumbai, Delhi, whatever you are selecting, then clicking on the search button, then you are clicking on the book now, then you are passing the detail, and then you are passing the payment detail, and then you are confirming the things, and you are you are able to book the flight, right? Right. So there is time gap between one scenario to another scenario, right? Agree? Agree, guys?
Yes, Vikas.
So that's why we are using the timer to create the such type of scenario, to put the delay between one request to the another request, right? So we have discussed the multiple timers. You can see the constant timer we have discussed in the last time, uniform random timer, right? The Gaussian random timer, and And bin sale we have added, but we have not discussed in detail, because to understand the bill sale timer, it required the coding knowledge, right? So when I start giving you the knowledge regarding the coding, at that time I will explain you the bin sale timer, because it required the
Because
basic concept. Yeah.
I have one question. Last time when we were doing that CSV file and we were logging in with different accounts,
Mhm.
at that time, if we get multiple IDs, where we can store that and use for the next step, can
Yeah, I will
we?
explain you that topic will discuss in today or tomorrow class. That is the pre-processor and the post-processor. That is known as a correlation. To
Okay,
fetch the data from one place and get that data in subsequent call. Use that data in the subsequent call. That you are trying to say, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that we will learn in today or tomorrow class. That is
Okay.
known as a pre-processor or post-processor. Okay. So we from my side, the timer is pending because we need the code actually, right? And in one class, I will explain you the concept of the coding, and then I will also explain the timer. Okay, that's why I leave that thing. Okay, now in the last class we have not discussed the synchron. We have discussed, but not the clear concept, right? Synchronizing timer, right, guys? Agree?
Yes, because yes, yes.
So in this class, we are going to discuss the synchronization timer. Let's open. If you click on open recent here, you will see whatever you have recently opened, that particular JMX file. In the interview, they will ask you, what did you know by the JMX file? So when you are creating the test plan, so the file extension should be .jmx. Okay, so you click on the .jmx and the okay, I don't want to save. Give me again click on the JMX. No, I don't want to save the current one. And one more thing, guys. If you are preparing for the interview, if you are trying to switch the company, okay, so whatever I have explained you till now, there are 38 slides are there. Today I will share the updated document with you, right? So there are 38 slides are there. All the things are important which I have explained you. Nothing, even single things are not important for the interview question. All are the interview question. All single point, single topics are the interview question, right? So if you give ask me that's a you provide me the separate interview question, then I will ask you, because I have explained the things very neatly and clean, right? So whatever the things mentioned in this document, 60%, 60 to 70% I have covered the interview question. So if you want the interview question, if you are preparing, then go through this document. Go through each and every topic. You will get the interview question. Okay. So this document is very important for the interview purpose and for to do the practice. Okay. So let's move to here, because this document I have created manually and it contain each and everything in detail. What was I think that's where I was. Give me a second. Where it is, where it is, where it is. What timer, right? What was the timer? Yeah, I think synchronization time. Synchronizing time, right? So I open the jetpat store. This is my JMX file which I have already created before that. This is the test plan, right? So this is the users, right? And this is the enable, right? Correct. So let me delete the unnecessary thing. So right click on the controller. This is the controller. Which controller is this, guys? This user folder is which controller? Simple controller, right? The controller I have explained you in very neat and clean way, right? Because in the test designing, in the designing part, we need the controller is the very important role to design the test plan. The controller play a vital role. So please, if you have not attended that class, please attend. Please go through the recording session, okay, and the document. So right click on this controller and go to the timer and synchronizing timer. Okay, so what you can do here, you can see the name, right? Here you can add the comment, you can change the timer name, it's up to you, right? And here you can see there are one property, that is grouping, right? And there is one field, the field name is number of simulated user to be grouped by, and timeout in millisecond. So timeout in millisecond not play a very important role, but this number of simulated user is play a very important role. So let's suppose in which case you can apply the synchronizing timer. Let's try to understand in real time in which case you want to apply. You have multiple requests, right? Multiple scenario, multiple requests, right? And you have total 100 users. You have total 100 users, the thread users, right? What you want to do, you want to, okay, leave it, this concept also leave it. Let's try to understand the fight in 1971. We have the fight with the Pakistan. India and the Pakistan war was there. I think related to the Bangladesh. Okay, in 1971. So what uh, the Pakistan has attacked from different places, actually, from Vuz and from Punjab and from the Jammu location, right? So they attacked to the India as different location. Let's suppose they attacked from the 5 location at the Indian border, right? Now India have total 100 soldiers. India having the total 100 soldier, then what would be the Indian strategy in that case? What would be the Indian strategy in that case? The Pakistan has attacked from the 5 places and
Them in a group.
divide them in a group, right? Agree? Everyone agree? Agree? They have to divide in a group, right? Like they have 100 soldier, then they divide into 5 group, 20-20 group. 20-20 group, they divide the group, okay? Because yesterday I watched the Bhuj movie of Ajay Devgan, that's why I have taken this example. Okay, that is available now, it is available in the Hotstar. So yesterday night I have watched, so that's why I have taken this example. So the Indian army has they group their soldier in 5 different group, right? There are 100 soldiers, then 5 into 20, that is 100 though. So they will create the 5 group, right? And they will attack to the Pakistan soldier. Okay, similarly, let's suppose, do not similar exactly same, the concept I'm trying to explain. there are 2 requests, right? And there are 100 users. There are 100 users, right? You want to apply, create the group and hit the server. Create the group and hit the server. So what you are trying to do, you want to group of 10 user and simultaneously hit all the user this particular request. Right? If I use the synchronizing timer, if I pass the values as a 2, if I pass the value as a 2, and here the thread group, let's suppose, is 5. Number of thread is 5, and here the synchronization timing is 2. Okay, so what happened? It, the 5 user will group into two person, 2, 2 and 1. So let's suppose number of thread is 10. Sorry, 5 I have taken. And here, what is the simulated group, number of simulated group? Let me copy simulated group. Okay, and it is 2 here. So tell me how I can group this thing, divide this thing in 2 group. Tell me. The first group is 2, second group is 2, and the third group is 1, right? Total 5. Agree? Agree? Everyone agree or not? Or you are not able to understand? Tell me, guys. Otherwise, I will again repeat. But when I proceed further, then it's very difficult to come back again. Agree? I have passed the simulated users here in the 2. So that means that this 2 means it group the total number of user in, divide the total number of user into 2 group. 2 group. Not in 2 group, in the bunches of 2 group. 2-person group. Okay, so here you can see 5%. So if I pass simulated user 2, then 2, they divide 2 and 2, that is 4, and the 1 will be the single person, right? If I pass here like 6, then tell me, and simulated user is true, then how it get divide. I can divide this thing in the group.
3 groups containing two
That's
users.
true. 3 groups each with
2, right? If there is 10 and simulated users is 3, then tell me the how I can divide into the group.
3, 3, 3, 1.
3, 3, 3, 4 and 1. 3, 3, 6 and 3
Again 3.
and 1. Right? Not more than this, guys. That's why I have not written 4 here. Okay? 3 and 1. Clear? Now, again, I am giving you 100 user and the group of 10, or yeah, group of 10. Let's divide this group. Tell me. 10 into 10 times 10, 10, 10, 10,
10 times
10, 10. Okay. Let's see what happened. I passed the number of simulated user 2, and here in the thread group, let me pass not to look onto as 1, and number of thread is 5. Okay, let's try to execute and let's try to understand this concept. Please keep the eye on the view result table. Your execution get completed, not get changed into the green. Now here you can see, let me, okay, so the first request is get the user data and second request is create the user data, right? So let me sort that thing, let me sort the order. So create the user data. I have sorted this thing. Okay. Here you can see, here you can see. And one more thing, when I will group this thing, let's suppose 5 and 2. Okay. So it will group into 2, 2, 1, right? So this two user will, let's suppose I have one request 1, right? So this two user will hit this request in the same time. In the same time they will hit this request. The another request, the two group of user hit the request at the same time. Same time they will hit the request. Okay, and this grouping is decided by the JMeter at the runtime, how they are grouping. Let's suppose there are 5 persons. So let's suppose in the 5 person, let me create the 5 person, Vikas, Mohan, Rahul, Priya, and Sneha. The 5 persons are there. The 5 users they have created. Okay, so it's not necessary the JMeter at the runtime they will group Rahul, Mohan in one group, right? Or Rahul, Priya in the second group, or Sneha in single group. So they can also group Vikas and Rahul in one group, Mohan and Priya in one group, and Sneha in the single group. It also be possible Sneha and Vikas is one group, Rahul and Priya is Mohan and Priya in one group, and Rahul in the single group. Okay, that I don't know, right? That is decided at at the runtime, actually at runtime. Okay, so same situation here, you can see it here. This is what is the first request, get the users data, get the users data. This is your first user, right? This is your first user. Can you see it here? The first user timing is 8 to 1, 12, 32, 40, 54 second, 821 millisecond. Let me increase the font size. If you are not able to see, give me a second. Guys, everyone can see the screen properly? Everyone can see my screen. The data is visual for everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So here you can see this is the first user. The first user timing is for 54. I will talk about second and millisecond. 54, 821. So let me group the things. Let me group the things here. So get the users data. Okay, the users, the thread 1, thread users 1, thread users 1. So what is the time of thread user 1's? 12:32, 54 and 821 millisecond. Correct, guys? Right. Now, what is the thread user 2? Can you see it here? The thread user 2, the timing is same. Can you see it here? For 54 second or 821 millisecond. Can you see the timing is same or not? The thread group 1 and thread group 2. Can you see 821 and 821? Right, guys? Agree?
Yes.
Okay, so the first and the second user is the one group. Right now, the second group, let's try to find. Can you see 1 3, that is the third users, and timing is 55 second and 217 millisecond. Can you see the third group and the fourth group, the timing is same, they are hitting at the same time to this particular request, 217 and 217, 217 and 217. Now, can you see the time difference of the third group user? Is different, right? So they have created the group in 2 to 1, 2 to 1 group. Okay. Now, if you go here, create the user group for this request, for the second request. You can see it here. This is the first user. It's taking 56 second, 273 millisecond, right? So can you see it match with the 471 or not? With the second user, it matches? Or you can tell me who is the second person of the first group? Tell me.
4.
Fourth one, right? So that's why I have explained you, it is not, we don't know how they grouped actually, how the J meter will group at the runtime, we don't know. So in this scenario, in the first request, you can see the first request get grouped, the first user and the second user get grouped, and the third user and the fourth user. But in the second request, you can see the first user and the fourth user get grouped. Both the timings are same, right? And the second and fifth user timing is same. This is the second group, and the third user, this is the single group.
No, because the last one is matching, I guess. The 8th record.
8th record.
Yeah.
It match with whom, sir?
The first one, the third
But,
user.
okay, but the request is different, sir.
Okay, okay.
You can see the request is different.
Yes. Sorry.
Right. Request is
Yes.
different. Okay. So, right, this is the one case. This is the one case, right? So, let's suppose you have applied the number of user like 100 and you want to group the user like 10 user will hit the particular request at the same time, right? In that case, in the real time we will use this concept, but there are some conditions to use this particular timer. Okay, let's try to understand by taking one more example. Let's suppose I am using here number of thread is Similarly, you can apply 100 also, 1000 also. Let's suppose you are applying 1000. In that case, you want to group the users like 50. Then the 100 user will group into the 50. I'm not going to apply right now. Okay, but you can apply, but do not apply the load directly. I will tell you how you can apply the load. First test with below 100 user. The concept is same, guys, even it is less count or more count. Concept, do not worry, you are explaining with the lesser number of user. It will be the same concept with the the higher number of user also. The concept will not change. Why we are not applying the higher number of user? Because this is your local machine, and whatever you are using this application, you will face the issue from their side. Okay, but let's try to use less number of user. I will tell you when you have to apply higher number of user. I will guide you. Okay, because whoever doing the performance testing in the real time in the company, okay, their machine is the machine which is get from the company, their configuration is higher. The machine configuration, the graphics is more, the RAM is more, right? And all the things they have highly configured, right? In that case, you can also do it in your machine, but there is chances your server, you will face the issue with your machine because you are applying the load. Okay, so that's why I would recommend try to pass the less number of user. We will also look into higher number of user when we complete when we get all the concept of the element after that. Okay, so I'm applying 10 user here, right? And I'm applying here 3 user. So what exactly it means, guys? I group 10 here, and number of thread is 10, and the synchronization timer simulated user is 3. Then what exactly means?
Each thread have 3 users.
Each thread have 3 users? No.
I mean, if it is grouping users in 3.
It's group the total number of thread into 3 groups, right? In
Yes.
in the group of 3, not in the 3 group, in the group of 3, right?
Vikas, could you please repeat this?
Okay, if I put the 10 and here as a 3, so that means the total number of number of thread is grouped into it's grouped into 3. It's grouped into 3%. Okay, it's let's suppose we have 10, then it's grouped into how many? 3, 3, 3 and 1. So number of thread, the total number of thread is grouped into 3%, and whoever will left at the end, that is one single group. Right here, if you are passing 10 and here you are passing 3, then how many group will get created? Total 4 group. 3, 3, 3 and 1. Okay, so let's try to run. Now let me sort here, and if you go here, the number of user is, the first one is 0 second 132 millisecond, and this one is the second user and this one is the third user. So this group into 3. Can you see it here? The 1, 2, and 3 group into 3 user, and 6, 4, and 5 group into 3 user. Can you see the timing here? Same, right? Yeah, you will see some minor difference, but ignore. You can see it is 433 millisecond and 434. Ignore the minor difference. Okay, you can see. And the another one group 741, 741, and there is one more 741. Okay, 3 3. Okay, give me a second. 1 2 3 clear. 4 5 and 6 clear. 7 and 8. Okay, say 8 or 9 in the same group. 8 or 9 in the same group, and 613 it is also in the same group. I told you ignore some millisecond. Okay, and here you can see this is the single group. Okay, now what similarly if you want to apply for the 100, and if you want to apply here 10 group, you can apply. So the 10 users number of thread, it is grouped by 10, grouped by 10 user. Okay, now if I am passing 0 here, then what would happen? Tell me. If I pass 0, then what happened? If I pass the 0 here, then
No group.
Error
No
will show.
group.
no, it will create the group, but the logic behind that 5, if I pass number of thread 5, right, and if I click on send, right, so that means it will create the group of 5, single group will hit the request in the same time, right? If you go to the view result tree, and can you see here the timing 11 53 51 51 54 51? The timings are same for all the 5 group. Can you see? So if you pass the 0, so that means whatever the user you have passed it here, they will create one single group and hit the server, hit the request. If I pass 10, let me disable one group, one request. Okay, and let me pass the 10 here. Let me pass the 10 here and hit. You can see here all the thread, the timings are same in the sense ignore the some millisecond. They hit the server at the same time. They, you can see if you pass the 0 here, if I pass 2, then it will group. If you pass 0, then this the total number of thread is considered as a one group. Okay, now if you pass here 5, right, the number of thread is 5, and here if you pass the synchronization timing is 6, or let's suppose 10, right, the number of thread is less, number of thread is less than simulated user group. The simulated user group is greater than the number of thread, right? So in that case it will not execute, it will put on hold. So let's try to execute. Run. Can you see it here? Any of the request, any of the user hitting the request? There is not any single request is coming here. Can you see it here?
But because why are we able to see 5 by 5 at the top right corner then?
No, running thread number of ignore
If
this
they are
thing.
not running, then
Yeah, it
why?
should be 0. Right, ignore this thing. But you can see it here. Here you can see there's not any request is running here. Okay, let me stop. Okay, but it is the issue from the JMeter side. It will 1 or 2 will get executed, but ideally it is not executed. You can see it get failed actually. Okay, so if you pass the synchronization timer, the simulated user greater than the number of thread, then your execution will not execute, it will put on hold. Okay, so here you can see I have written the important points. If number of simulated users to be group is equal to 0, then current thread group number of thread will be executed. If number of user is group by is less than number of thread, then load will split. In that case, load will split. Okay, when the number of user is greater than the number of thread, then no execution. And this particular timer we are using in the real time when you want to hit the server into the group at the same time. At the same time you want to use. So guys, tell me, give me one example how you can use in the real time. Tell me, in which give me one real time scenario in which case you can use. Try to guess. So when the Flipkart or Amazon or any e-commerce site, in the festival season at the particular time they having this sale, right? So at that time, can I use this synchronizing timer or not? I will group the number of user and hit the server in the same time. This is applicable, right?
Yes.
Okay, so like that you can use this timer in the real time. Okay, now we are moving to the next part, that is processor. Guys, whatever the elements I am explaining you, please add into your plan and do the practice with a different set of data. Okay, now the processor. What did you mean by the processor? So if you go to the JMeter and right click, and here you can see we have two types of the processor, the pre-processor and the post-processor. This is very, very important processor. In the interview, they will definitely ask you, what did you mean by the processor? They are having two types of processor, pre-processor and the post-processor. Okay, so guys, tell me, what did you mean by the pre-request? Tell me. When you are doing the manual testing, what did you mean by the pre-request?
That is required thing.
Pre-request means Before executing your actual scenario, you have to complete that step, right? When you are doing the manual testing, they are having some pre-request, right? Not every test cases, but I think maximum some of the test cases having the pre-request, right? So let's suppose I want to open the make my trip, right? So there is pre-request that like you have the URL, right? You have to open the browser. You can I say like that? This is my pre-request,
Yes.
right? So before executing your actual scenario, we have to run the pre-request. Okay, so here the same thing here, we are using the different term pre-processor. Pre-processor means execute some action before making the sample request. So what it exactly saying, let me disable the, right? So this is our request, right? So before executing this sample request, if I add this preprocessor, let's suppose any of the preprocessor like user parameter, okay, so this pre-request will execute first and then you get the user's data. First preprocessor, then your request. The same thing I have written here. The preprocessor execute some action before making the sample request.
Vikash, you're adding it in this under the request or under each controller level?
I have added inside the request.
Okay.
Right. So let's try to understand. Let's discuss in detail. Guys, you can mute. Okay. So here you can see a preprocessor executes some action before making the sample request. Before executing the sample request, the preprocessor will execute. If I go here and add the post processor here, let's suppose I'm adding post processor. So that means first this will execute your preprocessor, then your request will execute, then your JSON extractor, this post processor will execute. Okay, so we having the different types of the preprocessor. You can see it here, a preprocessor element, as the name implies, the execute action the prior to a request being made. The preprocessor elements are often used to modify the setting of the request just before it runs or to update the variable. Okay, here you can see the preprocessor or the JMeter element are used to execute the action before the sample requests are executing in the test scenario. Preprocessor can be used for different performance testing need like fetching the data, setting out the time and other action. Okay, let's try to understand. So if you go here, right click, you can also add the preprocessor at the controller level or inside the request level. Okay, if you go to this request and click on add, here you can see the preprocessor. So we have different types of the preprocessor and each processor having the different behavior. Okay, let's try to add the users parameter. Okay, I have used the users parameter here. Okay, and what I'm doing, I'm enable this call, the create the users. Okay, let me add this preprocessor inside the create user. So when you are creating the users, when you are creating the users, can you see it here? We are passing this request. We are creating the user, right? Here, if you go here, this is your application. Yeah, here you can see the go-rest.co in, right? In this particular application, you are creating inside this resource. Inside this resource, you are creating this data, right? With the names and the email, gender, and the status, right? So earlier we have used the what concept? CSV data set config. Agree, guys? We are fetching the email ID and the name from the CSV data set config. Agree? Right click, go to the config element and CSV dataset config we have used. From the CSV dataset config, we fetch the data. If you go here and where it is, CSV dataset config, which data we have used, this document, here you can see. We are fetching the data from here, right? If you go and add the path name here, so whatever the you have parameterized here, it will get the data from this sheet. This thing is, I have already explained you. Okay, so right now I am not using the CSV dataset config. I am using the user parameter preprocessor. Okay, in the user parameter preprocessor, we have two things, name and the users, right? Here, if you want to add the users, right? So you can add. You can see one more user get add. If you add one more user, click on add user. One more user get add. If you want to add one more user will get added. Okay, so let's suppose I am putting here 4 users. I want to test with the 4 users. Okay, and the variable, how you can add the variable? Click on add variable. This button you have to click, add variable. Let's suppose I am creating one variable user name and putting the name. Let's suppose user1, user unique name I am providing, user2, user3, and user4, right? And adding one more variable, that is email ID. Okay, and here I am adding the email ID at the rate gmail.com. Okay, let me copy this and pass it here. Let me change the name here to, and let me pass it here to, and let me pass it here as a, this is the 3 and this is the 4. So using the user parameter preprocessor, I have first added the multiple users here, like total 4 users I have added, and I have created 2 variables by using add variable. Okay, so variable name is username and the email ID is the email ID, the variable name, and I have passed the different set of data. So you are going here, wherever you want to use this particular user parameter, you have to parameterize this thing. So copy this variable name, go here and pass it here. Okay, similarly copy the email ID, and pass it here. Okay, so let me, how many users I have used here? I think 4 users, right? Let me change into 4. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, so run. So you can see, guys, your execution get completed and total 4 and 4, 8 requests. Each sample having 4 requests. Right now, if you go to the view result tree, go to the get user data request. Where I am using create the user's data. So where is the create user data? Can you see user2 and email ID user2@gmail.com? If you go here, user1 at the rate gmail.com, user3 at the user3 and user3 at the rate gmail.com, right? User4 at the rate gmail.com. So it will fetch the when the execution come to this request, right? It will check the user parameter, and then whatever the parameterization and the variable I have used, it will get the data from this preprocessor. Okay, and put the value inside the request. Okay, so guys, this thing is happening before executing, before getting the response, or after getting the response. This value is assigned here, this value is assigned, right, before getting the response or after getting the response?
Before getting the response.
Before
Maybe
getting the response. That's why you can see this thing into the request, right? Right. So that is, you can you have one question that you can also use the CSV dataset config, the config element. Yes, you can use. For the one way we have the, for the one thing we have the multiple way to do that. Okay, so using user parameter, you can do that. If in not, I'm asking only you need name and the email ID, anything you want before the execution, you want to set it here, right? You can use the user parameter and you can pass the create the variable and pass the value. Okay, now the question is, you have added 4 user. Let's suppose if I'm adding 6 user here, then what happened? Let's try to run. So this error will exist because the email ID is already exist, right? That's why. So you can see email ID is already exist, but ignore the error message. Our concern is they are picking the data or not. You can see it here, user one, right? For the thread 1, number of thread is 1. Okay, now moving to the second. This is the second user, and you can see the second user also get picked up, user2 and user2 at the rate. Third user, user3 and the user4. Fourth user, user4 and user4 email ID. Fifth user, can you see it here, the fifth user, because in the user parameter I have added only 4 user, but here you have mentioned the 6th user. Number of thread is 6. Then what happened? It will iterate the thing from the top to bottom. So it will again start the picking up the value from the first user. Okay, and you can see in the second user. So there are 2 users are extra, right? So it will start from the top. Okay, so this concept we can use, anything you want to pass inside the body or anywhere you can pass. Anywhere, if you want to pass in the path or in the server name, you can use the user parameter as a preprocessor. Okay, let's suppose how you can use in the URL, anything in the URL. Okay, let's suppose I'm passing this thing. Copy this thing, copy, Control X, and create one variable and resource. I can add it here. Resource variable, source, and pass the value. I have passed the value resource. Okay, so what you can do, copy this thing, you can copy the resource and pass it everywhere, okay, and copy the resource and go to here and parameterize this thing. How I can parameterize? like that. Okay, so when you call this thing, let's see what happened. Go to users data. Can you see data get picked up in the URL? Can you see or not, guys? Can you see it here?
Yes, Vikas.
Right. So earlier I have used user defined variable. So in that case, you have to you pass the values at a single place. Right here, you have to defines the value in every user. Okay. Right. So that's why it's not recommended. Yes, you can use, but it is not recommended to use. To delete this variable and go and change the value. Whatever the value you can. Will go here and change it here. Okay, let me try to execute again. I have made the correct changes or not. Yeah, right. So it's up to you. It depends on the scenario how you can use. If any, the preprocessor is used before, if any action you want to do before executing your request. Okay, you can use the user parameter and you can create the variable and pass the value and you can use that thing. Okay, similarly, let's suppose we have enter the let's suppose we have any API where you have passed the username and the password. Let's suppose here you have passed username username and the password. Username. Okay, username. Let's suppose. Okay, and password you have to pass. Okay, and here you can pass the so let's suppose you want to test the do the performance testing with 100 username and the password or 10 20 whatever username and the password. Same thing you will do here. Okay, you will create the variable for this two and pass the value here, whatever the user one username and the password, user two username and the password, user three username and the password, it will work. Now I'm not able to revert. Give me a second. Let me take the value from here. Okay. And paste it here. And what username we are using? Let me correct it because control Z is not working here. So let me manually pass the thing. Okay. That's why, guys, I'm explaining you. I have explained a lot of component. Now it is up to you how you are doing the practice. Okay, so copy this email ID also and go here and pass it here. Okay, now correct. Okay, now we are moving to the now I'm moving to the next part. The next preprocessor, that is very important in the if you having the question that this user parameter we are using in the real time or not. Yes, we are using in the real time. You will use this parameter. Okay, let's suppose I'm adding some other preprocessor. So there is one more preprocessor, HTML link. There is one more sample timeout. Sample timeout. This is very simple processor, preprocessor, right? If you the same like the timer, it is same exactly same like timer. Okay, if you mention the time here, like mm, this test case will get pass the get the user timing, and the sample time is 398. Okay, so sample time you can pass the here 400. Okay, and let me try to execute. So you can see if any timer is more than 400, right? So that get failed. You can see it here. Get the user data, it get failed. Even you get the response successfully. Here you can see this particular request get failed. You can see this get failed, right? So here you can see if any request taking more than 400, that particular request will get failed. It will show in the red color. You can see 406 it get failed, 402 it get failed. Now you can see 380 it get pass, right? 40, but why it is passing the 4110? Strange. Why? Give me a second. Let me pass the number of thread as a 3 here, and let me go here sample timeout in millisecond. Let's suppose I am passing the millisecond as a 300. Okay. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, so
Previously we are unable.
what topic you have last time? The last thing what you have heard? I have added the simple timer. It is clear or not clear?
Yes, but in result we view that it was passing for 410 seconds also.
No, that was I have not added this preprocessor for this request. It was by mistakenly added inside the create user actually. That's
Okay.
why. Okay, you can see if I added the sample timeout here and 300 millisecond, and I have executed this request for the 3 user. If you go to the view result tree, you can see get the user data 304. It is more than the 300, right? That's why it get failed. If I pass here, let's suppose 400 and try to execute, save it and execute. Let's see what happened. Can you see it here? It get passed.
Yes, Vikas.
Okay. So this is one of the preprocessor, but have you seen I have also explained the assertion. In that assertion we have one duration assertion. This is similar to the simple timeout assertion, simple timeout preprocessor. Basically both are almost same. Okay,
We can use any one, or is there
I
any
think we can
priority?
use, let's suppose if I am using this one, okay, let me disable this thing and disable this thing in duration assertion. I can add like 300, okay, 300, and execute. Okay, can you see it here? 387 get failed, 342 get failed, 321 get failed, right? For the get the user data. If I increase the time here, let's suppose 4. Okay, so and try to, can you see it here? Right? Both are doing the same action, right?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so generally we are not using in the real time sample timeout. We are using the duration assertion. Okay, but it is added in the inside the preprocessor. That's why I have explained you sample timeout. Okay, it is similar like the assertion, the duration assertion. Okay, in the real time we are not using the sample timeout. We are using duration assertion. Okay, and okay, now the next one is user parameter is clear. Okay, now the next one is HTML link parser. Now this is very important. HTML link parser. So try to concentrate, guys. So guys, tell me, let's suppose any site you can tell me where you can get the multiple link. Any site, do you know? We have one, Wikipedia. Go to the English. So there are multiple links, right? Agree? These all are the links, right? This is the Wikipedia site. Agree, guys? There are multiple links or not?
Yes, Vikas.
Right. So now the scenario is you are trying to test the application and tell me, you know the motto of user, the client. Let's suppose he trying to use the make my trip. So are you know exactly on which link they will click? You implemented the make my trip, you launch your product into your market, right? Now the customer starting you the using, the end user start using your application, right? So tell me, you exactly know where the customer will click or not? You know or not where customer will click?
No.
You don't know exactly. Customer either click on the flight, either click on the hotels, either click on the buses, either click on the cab, either click on the holiday package. So it depends on their requirement. Agree? Agree, guys? Guys, agree or not? Because I told you in the previous classes, when you not understand fully, then I will not proceed further. That's why every time I'm asking, are you agree or not? Then I will proceed further.
Yes, yes, Vikas.
So now the scenario is you don't know how many the links are there and on which link the user will click, right? Right, and you want to test the same scenario in the performance testing. So this is your application. In this application there are multiple links and you don't know the Vikas will click on this link or this link or this link, or Rahul will click on learn to edit, right? And Mohan will click on the special page, or right, or Priya will click on Independence Day, or let's suppose Vijay will click on media wiki, right? You don't know where the user will click, right? So if you want to test such type of scenario in the performance testing, we will use HTML link parser. HTML link parser. We will take the help of this processor, HTML link parser. Okay, how you can? Let's see. Let's see. So I will create the new thread group because a lot of things are added here. I will create the one new thread group. I have added one plan. Inside that plan thread group, I have added inside the thread group, I am adding the request, and one more request I am adding inside the thread group. Go and add. I have added two thread group. Then let me add the listener view result tree, and let me add the one more listener, that is view result table. Okay, your test plan is ready. Simple, guys. These things are, you have to, minimum things which you have to add while you are creating the test plan. The test plan, thread group, request, and the listener. Okay, now this is your wiki page, right? Wiki page. So let me copy the wiki page and go here. Now guys, split the things, split the URL. Help me how I can.
HTTP should be on the protocol.
Okay, right. Now let me remove this thing from here. Protocol, fine. And this resource will come.
Yes, on the path.
In the path.
Yes.
Right. So let me give some name here. Open the wiki. Okay. Open the Wikipedia. Okay. This is one request. Let me save it. Let me save this test plan. Give some test plan, demo test plan, something like that. Demo test plan one, something like that. You can give the name. Okay. So this is one request you have created, right? Now, in the let's suppose Tulsi. So Tulsi is trying to test the scenario. So first what he will do, he will open the browser and then they will hit the Wikipedia, right? They will hit the Wikipedia, right? They will hit the Wikipedia. So this is one request which we have already created, right? Now in the second request, what he will do, he will click on the any link. Okay, so I will create one more request inside that request. I will use the Wikipedia, right? And in the path I will use dot strict symbol, dot and steric symbol we will use in the path. So this is the regex expression, regular expression. So I think in the regular expression is separate topic actually. If you learn the regular expression, then it is very useful in the pre-processor and the post-processor, and even in future also, right? So I will explain you in I think maybe in tomorrow class, in regular expression class, what is mean by the dot and asterisk symbol. Okay, for now only try to understand. If I use dot asterisk symbol, that means that user will click on any element, user will take any link from this page, any link they will fetch, any link they will click on. Okay, so let me give some name, click random link. Okay, in the path I have mentioned dot asterisk symbol. Okay, and how this will work, we have to add the preprocessor as a HTML link parser, so that it will understand that you have to only click on the link. You have to only click on the link, right? So I have added one HTML link parcel, not parcel. I have added, go wherever you want, right click and go to the preprocessor, and here you will see, right? Now what happened? Let me add here one user and try to execute. What happened? Let's see. So it get executed, right? When you open the Wikipedia, click on the Wikipedia here and go to the request. Can you see the URL here? It is correct, which we have passed. If you go to the random URL, it's not taking actually. What mistake we are doing? Oh, here we have not passed the protocol, guys. You have also not tell me, right? I have to pass the protocol here. Okay, I have passed the protocol. Let me again execute. Yeah, now you can see. If I go to the click on the random link, my mouse is not working. I have to change my mouse. Give me a second. Yeah, here you can see it clicking on the Wikipedia about page. Can you see it here in the URL? If you copy this URL and if you hit this in the browser, you will see that page. You can see it here, right? Let's suppose I'm again hitting. Let's try to cross check it hitting the random URL or not. Go to here. Can you see it here? Special page. Earlier it was about. Now special page. Let me again hit. So what did you notice here, guys? Let me click on this link. Guys, no one explain you in very neat and clean way in detail, right? Everything I'm explaining you in detail, right? So please try to concentrate and try to learn. Give me a second. Click on here. Why it is not clicked? My mouse is working. Get hanged or what? Man. Yeah, here you can see COVID-19 pandemic. If I copy this URL, let me from my machine get hang. So one question I'm asking you guys, if you want to check the same scenario with multiple user, like one user click on the one user has click on the let's suppose this is your main page, this is your main page. One user you want to check with clicking on the main page, one user clicking on the summer Olympics, one user click on the learn edit. Means what I'm trying to ask, you have to apply the load with the multiple user and all the user will click any URL. How you can apply this scenario? Tell me. What I
We
have
can
to do.
use random controller, maybe.
Random controller. My
So
question
that
is, you have to test this scenario, not for the one user. I'm asking,
Okay.
you want to apply the load on the server 100 user. For the 100 user, you want to click on the random link.
Right, of
HTML
course,
parser.
we can pass 100, for example.
Right? So I have to pass the here. Oh man, I
100.
didn't get. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me close the all the things unnecessary. Error. Give me a second, guys. Let me close my JMeter and then again open. So guys, one question. So tomorrow is 15th August. So we have the class, right? Because it is Saturday, Sunday, we can't miss that class. So is it fine for everyone? Same time.
Yes, Vikash.
Yeah. Or if any of your friend want to attend the demo class, tomorrow demo class of performance testing. So the timing is 4 to 6. So let me know. I will share you the demo link so that he or she can attend. So go here and what open recent. What is the recent one which I am using? Yeah, this one. Here. Now you have changed here. Let's suppose 20. 20. Okay. So what you are doing here and try to run. In the real time, guys, we are not applying, you are not running your execution using the JMeter actually. In the real time, we are running our scenario using the command prompt. Right? If you run through the JMeter, sometime your JMeter will get hang. Okay, so in one class I will explain you how you can run the test plan using the command prompt, and then at that time I will apply the load higher user. If you apply the load here like 1000 user 2000, sorry, 2000 3000, then your JMeter will get hang or crash. So that is the not the recommended way to do that. Okay, so you can see it here. Yeah, this one, click on the random link. Can you see it here? It clicking on the PHP index main page, and this one is clicking on. Let me click on the next one. Can get you can see it here. General disclaimer, right? So every 20 users having the different links. Okay, similarly, let's suppose let me change it as a 5. Let's suppose you want to test with the make my trip. Okay, make my trip. So what you can do it here, guys. So you will go here and change it here, make my trip, right? And you click on the make my trip, and then here you can pass the same thing here, right? And here you can pass the same thing. Okay, you have to change only URL, and let me delete this table, because if you use this table this will consume more space actually. Ideally we are not using. Delete, and 5 user I have applied, and make my trip, I open the make my trip in the first request, and in the second request the user is randomly clicking on the any link, right? So try to run. Okay, here you can see this one is the open Wikipedia. So this one is common, right, for all the user, right? So I will go and check, click on the random link. So go to the random link here. Can you see it here? Is clicking on the flight Go Air airline, right? And when you go down, it's clicking on the Holiday International. Okay, and when you go down, it's clicking on the hotels. Okay, so that is the use of HTML link parser. Okay, so wherever you want, like we have, this is your main request, you hit the URL, right? And after displaying the application from that particular page, you want to click on the any link, right? So inside that particular request, you have to add the HTML link parser. Okay, so when this particular request will execute it, so this will check the preprocessor. Okay, you have used HTML link parser, so it will go and run this request, and every time it will pick the random link and execute your request. Okay, now there is one more benefit of this HTML link parser. Okay, there is one more benefit of HTML link parser. What is the benefit? Okay, what I will do here, I will use the Jetpack Store application. Go to the JMeter, and here, guys, this example is clear. Any question? It is simple and straightforward. Okay, I know this thing you can't understand why I have passed the dot and asterisk. Ignore. Just simple understand I have passed in the path section. That means it will randomly pick any of the link.
Because
Okay.
here star means, is it considering to all?
Yes, it is considering to all.
Okay.
The all element will display on the page. Yeah, might be in tomorrow class I will explain the regular expression, regex expression. Okay, it is very important topic. If you not understand regular expression, then whole concept is waste. You can't do the performance testing. You can't be a very good performance tester if you not understand the regex expression. The regex expression is huge topic, large topic, guys. But we will not discuss all the things. In the development, the developer are using this concept broadly in his development. Okay, but we will discuss the things which are required to do the performance testing only. Okay, guys can mute.
Because what about
Sorry, sir, I have muted. Sorry. You can unmute and please ask. Mohan, you can unmute and please ask.
because what
Yeah.
about the parameterization?
Parameterization, I told you, no? Like wherever you want to use any, declare any variable, and if you want to use that variable, so you can use the syntax dollar and variable name. Simple. That is the parameterization. Okay. Okay. So uh, this concept is clear. You have click on the random link. Okay. Now the second use of HTML link parser is, as per the definition, you can see it here. What definition I have written here? HTML link parser is used to parse HTML response from the test server and to extract the link or slash form. So we have discussed the link. We have discussed the link. Whatever the link, you get it in this response, in the open media response. Whatever the response, you get it here, right? It will, act like a preprocessor for this request, and click on the, it will fetch the all the response link, and it will randomly click. Okay, now one more thing I have mentioned here, form. Yes sir, anyone having question?
Yes, because actually I'm asking, in this HTML, we don't have to write or uh, pass anything. Just we have to add the controller, right?
Sorry, come again. Here I have.
Yes. In this HTML link parcel, we are not having any options. Only
No,
we
no,
have to
no,
add.
no. Just we have to right click, go and add. So preprocessor and add HTML link parcel. Just that. So what you have to do inside the path, you have to use the regex expression to get the link actually. So this is asking to you that you need the link actually. You need link. Okay.
In this request, click random link. Can you please go that way? Request, click random link. Yeah. Okay. So from here, I have to remove the
What?
resource
Give me
and
a
I
second, sir.
have
Give
to
me a second.
use a
What
regular.
happened? Give me a second. What happened? So tell me, if you want to click on the Wikipedia link, right? First, you have to go to the main page where you want to click the link, right? Agree? You want to reach that page, right?
Correct.
Right? For that, I have added open the Wikipedia request, right? So when it connect with the server, it will give you the response, right? And in the second request, what I am trying to do, when you get this page, I want to click on the link, the random link I want to click on, right? So for that, I have created one more request, and I have used the same URL where I want to get the link, and the .x asterisk means whatever the response, you will get it in the open Wikipedia. It will get and if you added the HTML link parcel, so what happened, it will act like a preprocessor for this request. So it will go to the open Wikipedia response, the response section, and it will get all the link and randomly click on any link.
Right.
Okay, it will you can see in the view result we get the response. Okay, so after then we have opened the random link, right? So what happened, I have added the preprocessor as a HTML link parser. So this HTML link parser, what it will do, it will take all the link which you get it in the open Wikipedia response, and
Right.
it will click on any of the link. Okay,
Randomly.
now, yeah, now we are going to discuss one more thing. I have added form. What did you mean by the form here? Okay, let's try to understand this form concept. Okay, so give me a second. Form concept. Give me a second. Place diamond. Okay. uh, Otherwise we can leave this. Okay, we can use this concept. Okay, there is one scenario like where you don't know the user which option. This is one blaze demo.com where we have the field like it is the traveling agency, right? Choose your departure city and choose your destination. Okay, two fields we have. Okay, so you don't know which option the user will select, either Paris, Boston, Poland, right, Sen or Mexico City. You don't know in which destination city the user will go, right? You want to apply such type of scenario randomly. You can select anyone and you can book the flight, right? If you want to apply such type of scenario, you can use this concept. Okay, let me inspect this element, go to the network section and run. So this is the blaze meter. Okay, what I will do here, I will go here, disable this thread group. I have disabled this thread group because I am using some other application. So I have added one new thread group. Inside this thread group, I am adding the request. I have added the request. Let me add one more request. Okay. Sampler, added one more request and add the listener view result tree. Okay. So first you have to open this blaze.com, right? So what is the URL, and this is the URL. Okay, so I will go here in the request and pass it here, right? And remove the protocol from here and pass it here, https, right? And remove the forward slash here. This is the URL, right? This is the URL. When you reach to this page, right, you have to select the departure city and the destination city. The user will, you don't know the user, what will user select, right? Right. So guys, tell me, you have implemented the make my trip and you know exactly what user where which value from will they will select and which two value will select. Did you know that? No, right?
Yes. I
Right.
don't.
So you want to apply the scenario like that where you want to randomly select any value, not any particular value, randomly select any value, right? So what I will do here, we have two field I have selected here. Let me clear this thing. I'm trying to manually mapping Boston and select London and flying search. Okay, so where is the, so this is the URL, right? So I will copy this URL for this request and go here, and this is for the open the site, right? Open the site, right? And this is after open the site, select the from and to, something like that, from and to, something like that. I can from and to city. Okay, this is my one request. Okay, and put the name here. Okay, and move this thing inside the here, right, in protocol. Okay, now this is your resource, right? Copy this resource and pass it here. I have passed it here, right? Now if you go down, form data, you can see the form data. From part is Boston and to part is London. From port is Boston and to port is the London, right? So what you will do, you will copy this thing. You will copy this thing, copy, you will go here and add to clipboard. If you copy here and if you click on add from clipboard, it will get copied. Right? Any question here? Up to here, any question? What I'm trying to do? My scenario is, I'm asking, my scenario is I want to, let me go back. You can see the different flight here. My scenario is I want to randomly select the values from here. Paris or flip or any value, Boston or Portland or Mexico City, and the from in the destination you can select any city. You want to select any city, random city you want to select. Okay, so you have mapped this request here. You have mapped this request manually. You have mapped. Either you can use the which one, script recorder. You can also use the script recorder to record the stuff. Okay, what you will do, you have added right now. Here you want to apply from part random and to part random, right guys? This is your scenario, right? Agree?
Yes.
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 Right. What you will do here, you will same thing dot steric and here dot steric. Okay, and add the preprocessor as a HTML link parser. Okay, and let's try to run. I have added, let's suppose I have right now I have added one. Okay, let's save and try to execute. So OpenCity is done. You can see the response data, right? When you go to the select the to and from city, you will go. Can you see it here, guys? From part is Paris and to part is Berlin. Can you see the value here?
Yes. Random
Right.
values.
Now again execute this thing and remember that point. Mexico City and Berlin. Can you see it here? Right. Now again execute. Portland and Dublin. Can you see it here? Right. Similarly, you want to apply like there is, the Christmas is going on, right? The Christmas is going on, and at the Christmas there are a lot of traffic on the traveling application, on the traveling agency application like Make My Trip or any traveling site there, because everyone going for the Goa, Maldives, and some are going to their home to celebrate the Christmas, right? So number of users are using the application. They are trying to book the flight. Okay, what you will do, you want to apply to test with the random from and to fill. Okay, you can use the 10 user here and let me run. Okay, so when I go here, can you see it here? New York and the form is filled, right? And the second one, Mexico City, right? The third one, the Dublin, right? The fourth one, Portland and London. Can you see it here? Every source and destination is different for every 10 user. Yeah, it might be one user is selected the Portland, and it also happens second user also selected the same thing. It happened, but generally it will pick random one. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so in that case, you can use the HTML link parcel. The link to pick the link forms where form means this all are the forms, the field, right? Where you want to select the random value. In that case, you can use. Let's suppose I'm trying to let's try to apply the same scenario on make my trip. Can we do that or not? Let's try it. I have also not checked, but let's try to do. You guys will help me how I can. Okay, so right click and first try to map this thing. Okay, so flight.com, go to the network section and give me a second. This is the URL. Okay, I will copy the URL and here I can change. Okay, instead of blaze.com I can pass the make my trip. Okay, and remove the slash OR also, and now select the city. Now clear this thing and let me select Mumbai here. Give me a second. Okay, let me leave it as it is 15th August and clear this thing and search. It's not necessary in the real time. It will work with dot asterisk symbol. Sometimes it will not fetch the random value. So you have to write some different regular expression. Okay, that I will guide you. This is the maximum time it will pick up using this regular expression. Okay, if not get picked up, in that case you have to use some other thing. Okay, you will go here and you will, yeah, you can see it here, the query parameter they have used, itinerary, BOM, Delhi, and the values, right? So let me go here, view source, and let me copy this thing, copy, and go here and let me delete both the things. Let me delete, I have deleted, add to clipboard. I have added, right? I have added. They are taking the itinerary as a single value, passing the random number. This is the single keys and the value. Inside single key here they have used, but here they have used the separate key here, right? But let's see what happened. Let's try to use. Okay, let's see what happened, and let me change the URL here also. Let's see what happened. Okay, and remove. Okay, and try to execute. Okay, it's taking the select the city. Let's itinerary. No, it's not taking. Can you see here, guys?
Yes.
It's not taking the city, right?
Yes.
So this actually this will not work for that. So when we start learning the regular expression, so I will use these some different regular expression, right? Because using this regular expression, we are not able to do that. Okay, so we will try to apply some other thing here. Okay, so basically the idea behind this HTML parser is You can pick the link and click on that link. If you want to pick any random value, you can pick the random value. You have to use the HTML parser and you have to create the request like that. Okay, so there is one more thing, or you want to continue tomorrow? We have one more parser, that is if you go here, right click and preprocessor, HTTP URL redirecting modifier.
We will continue on tomorrow.
Okay, so in tomorrow class we will discuss the regular expression. What did you mean by the regular expression? Because it require in the here you can see regex user parameter, and if you go here in the post processor, here it will require a boundary extractor, regular expression extractor, right? In that case you will require the regex expression. Okay, so in tomorrow class we'll try to learn the regular expression. What did you mean by the regular expression? And then we will also learn the regex user parameter and HTTP URL rewriting, and then the post processor, this post processor. In this regular expression, in this preprocessor, let me explain you. User parameter is important. HTML link parser is important. HTTP URL rewriting modifier is important. Right, regex user parameter is important, and bin cell preprocessor is important. These all are not this even bin cell preprocessor is not important, but sometime we are using. Okay, majorly we are using user parameter, HTML, HTTP, and the regex user parameter. Okay, and in post processor,
Tomorrow, our last lesson, yes?
sorry, come again.
Tomorrow, our last lesson.
No. Still, this class will, I think, take this month also. 13, 20, 21, 27, and 28. I think, yeah, not the last class. Still, we have to learn most of the things, right? So, okay, guys, please do practice. If you don't do practice, everything is waste. Because I have explained you lot of component. Okay, so that's why you need practice, and I will share you this updated document with you. You can go through that, and you can do the practice. Okay, and come with the queries. And also tomorrow we have the demo class of the performance testing. If anyone is interested, then please let me know today, end of the day. Okay, thank you guys, have a nice day.
Thank you, Vikas.
Thank you, sir.